Greetings to you, OKCPS, week number 4. Superintendent McDaniel coming to you to give you some critical information. I'm going to start out with a word, and I'm going to say it early, and I'm going to say it often throughout our time today. The word is enrollment. I want to encourage you, if you have not had the chance to enroll, enrollment is that first domino that allows us to do a lot of other things for our kids. So if you want to go online to our website, please do that today, do that this weekend. If your child is not enrolled, we can't assign a teacher, we can't build a schedule, you can't have parent portal access. In the next week, we're going to start handing out our devices to kids, and if they're not enrolled, they can't get a device. So really want to encourage you to get enrolled so that all of these other dominoes can fall. So this past week, our teachers and counselors and principals at every school have been reaching out to your kids and trying to make contact with them, encourage them, check on them. If you have not received a call from school personnel, it likely means one of two things. Either you're not enrolled and you're not on our radar right now, or we haven't gotten to you. But I want to encourage you, if you have not received a call, for you to reach out to your school. Try and make contact. Let's make sure that kids are accounted for across our district. But that's what our teachers and school personnel have been up to this past week. During our Facebook Live chat this past week, we were able to talk about two really important things. One was devices and how we're going to get iPads and Chromebooks into the hands of our kids. And the other was special education and what we're going to do with our kids who have some of the greatest challenges, how we're going to try and get them back into buildings and provide an education for them. We'll talk more about that here in just a second. But if you didn't see the Facebook Live chat, I want to encourage you to go back and watch it. So you can go to our website, go to our Facebook page, and you can watch this past week's Facebook Live chat. Some really good information. And so you'll notice that I'm kind of looking to my side here every now and then. I want to read a little bit so that I don't forget anything. So I apologize for that, but this is really good information. I want to make sure that I hit everything. So this next week, beginning Monday, we will start distributing our devices. So remember that the devices are our Chromebooks for the kids that are 3rd grade through 12th grade, and iPads for kids that are pre-K through 2nd grade. These are brand new. While I'm thinking about it, if your child was given a device for summer school, have them bring that back or bring that device back, and we're going to switch it out for a brand new one. So all of these devices are brand new, and every child who's enrolled will get one. So again, I'm going to hit this pretty hard. Make sure we get enrolled so that we can get devices beginning on Monday. Now, a number of you have also let us know that you needed help with connectivity, that in your home you can't access the internet. So you requested hotspots, that other device that allows for the connectivity and allows us to get to the internet. So we have received word this week that there are some delays potentially on the hotspots, and we will keep you apprised of that. We still plan to deliver them to you, but we're going to have to really monitor that as we move into next week. I want to encourage you, if you haven't seen this or looked into this, our fantastic partner, Cox Communications, has a program called Connect to Compete. And if you sign up for that, you get 2 months of free internet service. And so I want to encourage you to check that out. And see if you can sign up for that free service for 2 months. So a lot of good things happening, and we'll keep you posted on hotspots and what that looks like. We're working very diligently to try and get hotspots into your hands before the start of school. So next week, during the device deployment, as we hand out devices to kids, we are also going to be handing out schedules. So remember, if you show up to get a device and a schedule because you went to school in OKCPS last year, if you're not re-enrolled for this coming year, you won't get a device or a schedule. I cannot overemphasize the importance of getting you enrolled. So let's talk about some highlights from our special education conversation in our Facebook Live, things that I think we all need to know about. So this is really critical information. I know it impacts a lot of you. You can either take notes as we go through this, or you can go to our website. All the information we talk about, you can find on our website. But I wanted to talk about this. Students who are on an IEP, an individualized educational plan, we call it an IEP, will continue to receive services based on their individual plans. And so a team meeting may need to occur to make sure that all of the accommodations, the modifications are met in a virtual setting or in a remote setting. So make sure that you're in communication. If you have any questions, I would encourage you to do one of two things. Either call your school directly and see if you can get in touch with a special ed teacher, with an assistant principal, with a counselor, or even with the principal. Or call our Director of Special Ed Services, Aaron Trussell. Either way, if you have questions, we can respond to your questions. A lot of important information there. Likewise, speech services will continue to be provided based upon the student's IEP. The child's speech pathologist will communicate with parents to schedule time for speech therapy and speech services. So again, if you don't want to wait, you feel free to reach out and call your school and have communication, have a conversation about what that might look like. Now, here's an interesting piece that we talked about last week that I want to emphasize. Many of our students on IEPs have some of our greatest challenges. Our students with disabilities that we think about in self-contained classrooms many times. We have been encouraged by the State Department, and we have found a way to bring those students back into the classroom setting in person. And so we're going to be putting out schedules so that you know what that might look like for your child. We will provide transportation, we will bring them to school, and we will take them back home at the end of the day. So the hours of the day, the days of the week, what that might look like, we're finalizing that, and we will be in communication with you. And we are very grateful and very pleased to be able to do that. So again, if you have questions about that, call your school, call Aaron Trussell, and then be looking for communication from us on scheduling and what that might look like. Let's talk real quickly about attendance and grading in a virtual setting. It's going to look very different, as you are well aware, than if we were attending in the brick and mortar school setting. So I want to talk about this. Remember, if you can't take notes this quickly, go to our website and it spells all of this out for us. So let's talk about remote learning, that synchronous plan where your child logs into a computer, there's a teacher, it's real time, and we move through the school day together. That's our remote learning plan. Here's how attendance will be taken. You have to meet one of the following at least 4 of the 5 days per week. You have to meet one of the following that I'm getting ready to tell you at least 4 of the 5 days per week. So here are those things. The student has participated in face-to-face instruction. The student has been on Canvas. Remember, that's our learning management system that you log into on your device. The student has been on Canvas to submit an assignment, participate in a task, watch an assigned video, participate in class discussion, or any other educational activities assigned by the teacher. That's number 2. The third one, the student has responded to an email, a call, or a text from a teacher. The next one, the student is caught up on work for the day. And then finally, the parent or student has contacted the teacher, attendance office, or other designated school personnel to report a technical issue that is keeping the student from doing some of these other things. So you have lots of options. Your student has one of these things at least 4 days per week. And then in doing so, will get marked present for the week. Let's talk about E3. This is the online learning. This is the self-paced. We call it asynchronous. And let's talk about how you get counted present here. First thing, the student has been logged into the learning management system. I get on my device, I log into the system, or the content management system, which is our Florida virtual for our younger kids and our Edgenuity for our older kids. So I get my device out, I log in to either the learning management system, Canvas, or my content management system. I log in order to work on or submit an assignment. That's number one. Number two, the student has responded to an email, call, or text message from a teacher. Number three, the student is caught up on work for the week and is progressing through the prescribed curriculum. So making progress, caught up and making progress. And then finally, the parent or student has contacted the teacher or other school personnel to report a technical issue that prevents that student from doing some of these other things. If I will do one of those things, at least 4 days out of the week, I am counted present. And again, go to the website, you can study these things, make sure that as I'm working through this virtual learning, that I'm getting credit for being present so that it doesn't impact my attendance. A couple other things, we're coming in for a landing here. This past Tuesday, OKCPS released what we call our Fall 2020 Athletics and Activities Guidance. So we have received lots of input from our different organizations and agencies from around the state who have advised us and given us guidance on whether or not we can proceed with things like cross country and band and choir and cheerleading and football. And so we have released our guidance. We have strict protocols in place, but our decision as a district has been to move forward with our fall, many of our fall athletics and activities with protocols in place. And I would encourage you, again, that's accessible on our website. If you're curious about what we're doing, what are the protocols that are in place, what does the schedule look like, you can find that on our website. But let me just talk to you a little bit very quickly about that. We get a lot of calls and a lot of comments, that notion that how can you be in a virtual academic setting, but tell your athletes and some of your activities kids to proceed business as usual. So a couple things. One, we are proceeding, but it is not business as usual. We have strict face covering, social distancing, disinfecting, hand washing, protocols in place for every activity, every sport that we're conducting. I've got to tell you that these types of decisions, there is no easy answer. These are very difficult decisions, but one answer that we can provide, when you talk about 35,000 kids and putting them on buses and then being in classes together and managing hallways and cafeterias, it is a different type of logistic. It's a different type of management than it is, for example, to bring 5 or 6 kids who have disabilities back into the schoolhouse and educate them. It's different to manage 35,000 in 62 different schools than to bring 30 cross-country runners or 40 band members back into a school setting. We can manage small groups of kids much easier, much more effectively than we can 35,000 kids all coming back to school, either in an A, B, or all at the same time. And again, there is no great answer that everybody's going to agree with, but what we do is we come at it from the approach of safety and what is best for our kids. And in this instance, we want to give this a try. Now, we're going to monitor if things do not go well, if we're not able to follow protocols, if we see a spike in positivity rates or transmission rates or other indicators that we don't feel good about, we will suspend. We want to take care of kids, and we think that we're able to do this. So again, just a little bit of an explanation on why we feel okay about doing one thing and not another. We're still examining whether or not we can bring other smaller groups of kids into a building, what that might look like and whether or not we can stay safe and this is best for kids. So more to come with that. I'm going to leave it there for now. I cannot believe that come Monday, we are 1 week away from the start of the 2021 school year. You know, I know it's different. We see some of the other districts around us starting school this week. Even though it's different, there is still a buzz in the air. We get to see our kids, though virtually. We get to see them in some small group settings. And I'm very excited about getting our kids back. So stay tuned. We'll see you again next week. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe.